People. And two dear brothers of mine wrote this song with me, but they're not here. One is named Chad Harper, who lives in Brooklyn, New York. He runs an organization called Hip Hop Saves Lives. He works with children from the inner city of Brooklyn and Queens and uses music to help bring them off the streets. Another brother, Nick, works with a group called Artists Striving to End Poverty in Broadway, New York. He's a Broadway actor and director. And currently he's in Pune, a city near Bombay, working with 30 children from the slum communities, directing a musical called Maya. And for the last year, he's been living in India, serving these kids. So we won't hear them today. We just finished a music video for this song, so we'll share it with you in the next few weeks. But this song is called To My People. It's an ode to humanity. I would love for all of us to sing a part again together. It's simple, it just goes, to my people, yeah. That's it. So I'll give you the cue and you can do it. It's like, to my people, yeah. Yeah?
You're my family, my life, and my truth. To my people, yeah. You're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah. You're my guide, you're my soul. You're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah. I bow down to your heart of gold. To my people, yeah. You're my soul, you're my roots. You're my family, my life, and my truth. To my people, yeah. You're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, from the day that we were born and Mom hugged us with warmth that we grew, because we knew we had all your support. From the fans to the friends that love was medicine, giving us the strength to rise when we would sin. The knowledge that we gained through every single mistake, but you never backed down through this. You taught me faith. Every single one of you, being you find a way to spread love through truth, through me and you. And it's because of you I grew, because of you I flew, because of you I made it through without residue. Because of you we all have a home to come to. You're a blessing to us all, so keep just being you. To my people, yeah. You're my soul, you're my roots, you're my family, my life, you're my truth. To my people, yeah. You're everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah. You're my guide, you're my soul, you're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah. I bow down to your heart of gold. Last time, to my people, yeah. You're my soul, you're my roots, you're my family, my life, you're my truth. To my people, yeah. Everybody, every being, every life, every moment, everything. To my people, yeah. You're my guide, you're my soul, you're the one that pushes me to help me grow. To my people, yeah. Bow down to your heart of gold. To my people. Thank you. Thank you. For this next theme, it's a really simple theme, and we already heard from Gayatri Ben about this concept, what she wanted, what she was sharing, this idea of kindness. And I always like to think this idea of, like, if we took all our religious scriptures of all religions, Hinduism, Jainism, Islam, Buddhism, Sikhism, Christianity, everything, Judaism, if we took all of that, millions and billions of pages of literature and philosophy and scripture, and we just put it all together, blended it in a Vitamix blender, and poured a smoothie out, the word kindness would come out. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's like everything that we're being taught to be a better human being boils down to us being kind to ourselves and kind to others. It's not some rocket science. But, as you were saying, it's not easy. We don't do that. A simple smile to a stranger, why should I waste time doing that? That's my own energy, that's my muscle, it gets tired. But
to think from that lens, to say, no, I want to live life like that, to actually just offer a little kindness to the people around me and to strangers. It shifts the energy around you and starts shifting the energy around other people, and little by little that shifts the energy of the planet. And that's what Desmond Tutu here is saying. Wherever you are, so it's not about volunteering at some nonprofit or trying to donate millions of dollars. Wherever you are, in small ways, you can do small acts of kindness. And that will change the world. And that's so beautiful. And have another dear sister, Lara, who's going to share a little piece from her heart. She's an amazing poet, and feel so blessed to have her come up and share with us. She's going to share a poem called Kind. So please welcome Lara.
Hi, my name's Laura Charles, and I'm a poet. And usually I write about things that strong emotions like love and passion and loss and grief and that kind of thing. But I wanted to set myself a challenge and write about a softer, less obvious emotion, kindness, a quality that's what I like to call a quieter quality. And this is the poem I wrote about that. Kind. What is that word? Sloppy, slow, sentimental, limping around the world, a hurt dog that should be put an end to. I'm bursting with busy, I have things to do, places I've got to be, no time to queue. Watch me, I'm pushing through. Lists so long they hang like willow branches, growing longer, brushing the ground. The goal, to finish, an insatiable hunger. And chances are I don't get it back. No one's kind anymore. Well, rarely. People sometimes, maybe. Like the time I'd run out of money, and that lady, she didn't know me, gave me a fiver that saved me, but she could see I was stuck. She didn't mind if I gave it back or not. Once, I was just so tired. I wasn't pregnant, but I was whacked. The tube was packed. He just asked me flat if I wanted to sit. You look beat, you look like you need a seat, he said, and I smiled. I smiled deep down inside. A place which you forget you have. Chocolate melting. And Sally, that mix she meticulously did, gathering every song I loved as a kid, the ones we danced around to in our bedroom freely, plotting what great people we were going to be. There was that time when I was scared, and that one word, just one single word, made me more prepared. That was kind, a sapphire in my mind. Now you've got me thinking all those jewels across my life, shining, scattered jewels, rubies, emeralds, diamonds, conjured freely in space and time. Magical, mysterious, kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Lara. That was beautiful and brings us into that element of how can we bring that into our daily life. I wanted to share a small story of a dear little sister of mine. Her name is Priyanka. She's taught me an amazing message of kindness that I wanted to share with you because it's so powerful, from a 14-year-old. A 14-year-old that lives in Pune in the slum communities. And for those of you that haven't been to a slum community, it's a very challenged environment where water, sanitation, toilets, they don't have much food, space, diseases rampant, but the kids that I've had a chance to spend with over the past many years, 5 years or so, have taught me big messages in life. Priyanka I met through this musical that my buddy Nick is directing, and so we've become very close. She's like a little sister. She has an even tougher life because her father is in prison for life for homicide. He took somebody else's life. And so she's with her mother, and she has this little teddy bear that's very dear to her heart. The teddy bear's name is Nia. So when I met Priyanka, we got so connected as like this brother-sister. I invited her to come to Ahmedabad, where I live. And somehow it all worked out where her mom allowed her to, which she's very protective of her. Priyanka was willing to come by herself on a plane. She obviously has never flown on a plane before. And we couldn't send her alone. We couldn't find somebody to come with her. So we had to send her on a plane. And she was confident enough to say, okay, I'll try it out. She comes and she's at the airport, and I get to the luggage claim, and she has her teddy bear with her. Her backpack and a teddy bear. And it was so cute. And that's, she always carries it with her. She spent the weekend with us, a group of about 40 people, and she fell in love with everyone. Very amazing soul. I see her as Prime Minister of India one day. That type of soul. An 80-year-old soul in a 14-year-old body. She was sharing Nia with everyone that weekend. But then she would always take it back, and she would always sleep with her Nia. 2 weeks later, we were both speaking at a conference together in Bombay. And she's an amazing speaker. She comes on stage in front of 600 people and shares how we don't need teachers in this world. We need education fairies. We need people that are teachers, but teach through compassion, not through facts and figures. After the conference, she comes up to me. She says, Nimo Bhaiya, I have a gift for you. I said, Priyanka, what? I don't want a gift. She gives me her piggy bank. See, I have a gift for you. I said, Priyanka, I'm not taking your piggy bank. And her English is immaculate. Amazing. She says, no, you take it. And she looks at me in the eye. She says, you do something good for somebody else with it. And she walks away. With whatever she had. I haven't even opened it yet. I haven't used it. I put it next to my mandir. Just like I have some different gods, Jesus Christ or Buddha or Krishna, all these gods on my temple altar, I have Priyanka's piggy bank there to remind me. The next day, Priyanka goes with her 30 kids to this hospice, elderly hospice, where the elderly don't have family and they're on their deathbed. These 30 kids, this musical, they go there to spend time with them. Priyanka calls me on Wednesday. She said, Nimo Bhaiya, and we always talk, we talk once a week usually. She called me on Wednesday. She said, I'm confused. I'm happy and I'm sad. So what happened? She said, we went to this hospice, on Sunday after the conference, and I met this old lady from South India, and I didn't speak her language. She didn't speak my language. But I held her hand. And she was smiling, and then I remembered that I have chocolate in my backpack. So she goes outside of the room and grabs a piece of chocolate. She comes, and her teddy bear, Nia, is sitting there. So she said, oh, Nia will give her a hug and make her smile. She grabs Nia. She goes back to the lady and gives the lady chocolate, and the lady smiles. And she says, here, meet Nia. This is my teddy bear. And the lady hugged and even smiled bigger. But Priyanka noticed that this lady had a different type of smile. The type of smile that said, thank you for giving me your teddy bear. And Priyanka, a 14-year-old, in her own heart, realizes that she doesn't want to ask for the teddy bear back. That this lady has fallen in love with this teddy bear. And so she calls me saying, I feel sad, I feel guilty that I miss my teddy bear. And then she shares this words of wisdom. She says, but Nimo Bhaiya, I remember one thing now that I've learned from this whole experience. Because I'm so happy I gave her my teddy bear. She said, whenever your heart tells you to do something, you do it. Don't wait. Because when you wait, then the mind will come in. and negotiate yourself out of it. She says, if I would have waited a few seconds to decide whether I should give her this teddy bear, I would have felt, no, let me keep it. She doesn't need it. She's too old. She probably doesn't like teddy bears. I would have made up any excuse. So that's just a little wisdom from a young girl that I wanted to share with you. That if you were to take something away today, maybe that could be it. That if your heart tells you to do something nice for somebody, something kind, do it. And then react to it afterwards, a few minutes later, then think about what you did. And be embarrassed about it, feel awkward about it, feel happy about whatever it is. But first do it when your heart is telling you to. And so thank you, Priyanka. And I wanted to share a song that's called Being Kind. And I have a request. I have a lot of requests. There's a part of the song that says, grab a friend and give a hug. Okay, it's towards the end of the song. I would love it if whoever feels comfortable getting up and just giving a hug to your neighbor. Yes, Anuj bhai, you too. My brother's not the hugging type, but I'm going to ask him to as well. Break some walls down here. Okay, this is called Being Kind. I like this visual that comes to my mind that in our daily life, we're walking a physical path. And that's our path every day, whatever it may be. Where we can sprinkle little acts of kindness. We have access to that.
Well, our hearts start sinking and I'm thinking, what's the reason why we holding back from being kind? What's the disease within a sense? We are fine. It'll happen. One small step at a time. When the world is full of violence and it needs a little kindness, I just sit and pray. Silence in God shows me the signs. Open my eyes, realize we are fine. One small act at a time. Last night I'm walking home and the homeless man says hello with a smile to let me know that he's got a lot of hope. He says, have faith, young man, we are fine. The world is kind. One small act, the small acts we do together, even though we be alone, changes the world for the better, so we can call it home. And this is life as we know, when our hearts are aligned, the magic that unfolds. One small act, throw your hearts up, let it fly high, let your love for all the world spread through the skies, let it drop down, let it all go. Spreading kindness through every single living soul. Can you see a love for me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time, and kindness will be all we can do. Yeah, feeling grateful today. Never thought this day would come where I would feel it and say, each and every one of us have paved the way, doing good, and now we're all just moving up. When I'm kind to you, you pay it forward. This is how we build trust. Never had faith, but now I'm seeing you eye to eye. Only gift to my life. Wanna spread love before I die. Thank you, God, for finally letting me realize when I serve man, I'm really serving you. In the sky, smiles everywhere, 'cause now everybody's got the bug. Ain't no life without the love. If it is, it ain't no fun. What we gonna do? Now just grab a friend and give a hug. Spread it out real wide so everyone can be touched. Throw your hearts up, let it fly high. Let your love for all the world spread through the skies. Let it drop down, let it all go. Spreading kindness through every single living soul. Can you see a love for me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time. Did Anujbhai hug somebody? Yes! All right, guys, we can leave now. Thank you, guys. That was beautiful. Just that energy is beautiful. So thank you, guys, for taking part. When I think of kindness, I think the first thing that comes to mind is mom. And when I say mom, I'm not talking about my mom. I'm talking about all the moms. And I see moms everywhere here. And I think this picture is really touching for me. I feel the sense of unconditional love that you see when you think of a mother. The sense of giving all and expecting nothing. And many times I think we've all been in that space where we treat our mother in that way, where we take it for granted. Take her for granted. But we're only taking her for granted because she allows us to. It's so unconditional. And it's just amazing. Giving us life on this planet, raising us, sacrificing so much, and then leaving. And that's it. It's like having given us this magical journey, this opportunity. So, for me, my mom and my mom's sisters are here, and I feel like they're my mom as well. Inspired me to write this song called Ode to Women. And because my mom's Gujarati, I decided I'll write it in my mom's tongue as well. In Gujarati and English. And wanted to share this song with all of you. And today is a little special because I get to have a beautiful woman, a beautiful sister, Shivangi, to actually dance with us while I share the song. And she's a student right now at Oxford, studying, I think, Japanese. Wow, amazing. And yet she's been learning from this space, from the Bhavan, since she was like 8 years old. And she now incorporates dance into her life at school, at uni, and tries to incorporate that creative flow and offering it wherever she can. So, very blessed for you guys to share this energy in this space with an amazing woman. Shivangi, I'd like to call you on stage, dear. I'm going to move these for you and then we can start. Would you like to say anything?
Hello, very grateful to be part of this very positive concert. Very excited to be doing this piece actually because it's an unusual collaboration between modern music and very traditional Bharatanatyam. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a little bit experimental. And my Guruji has just come in through the door somewhere to watch. So
Is Guruji there?
yes. Is there. So yes, thank you very much, Bhartiya, for all your guidance and your teaching. This dance isn't choreographed by him, so I'll be interested to see what he thinks afterwards. But thank you very much, and thank you.
This song is called Ode to Women.
Every time I close my eyes, I dream of visions of beautiful queens that walk by my side. Hold your hand this time. Put you on the highest pedestal like the point of the peak at the mountain and never let it go. Mami, también tomari shakti chok Bhavan, tomari mari bhakti. I pray to God that you never run out of my life, because I see too many ego bended and animals right. You're the catalyst in times like these. I think twice and 3G bucks, no jiggy money, jiggy is your life. That's right. You're the testament, proof, and the birth certificate. Yes, you're the limit in our lives. Thanks for listening. Like, you are my love. You are my life. You are my time. You are women. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through the beauty that you bring to our lives. It's so true. That's why we appreciate you. You are women. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through the beauty that you bring to our lives. It's so true. Why? Can't everything boils down to this. Money, mommy, money, and I preach over your bliss. And everything that you give us comes straight from the heart. Whatever depart. You gave us birth, saw us rise from this earth from real dirt. Became my friend when I was younger. You turned into my lover, now you're my little kid's mother. You're the women in our lives. When I look into your eyes, I can never compare you to no other. Like Ramisika, like Matavita, Bala, Pichoki, Mata, Jamapre, I feel and repeat that we got mad love for y'all. Keep you standing, never will we ever let you fall. Hand in hand, hot my heart, hot me not. So yeah, brother, and yeah, how please, because we love everything that you are and are not. And yes, you're the single loving life we got. You're our woman. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through the beauty that you bring to our lives. It's so true. That's why we appreciate you. You are our women. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through the beauty that you bring to our lives. It's so true. That's why we appreciate you. You are our women. You are our women. It would be such a struggle without you. Couldn't imagine how I would ever make it through the beauty that you bring to our lives. It's so true. That's why we appreciate you. You are our women. Thank you. I'm just going to bring this time. One more big round of applause for Sheila. Guruji, I think he might be back there. Thank you for allowing her to experiment with such a beautiful art form and connect it to this message. Thank you. And this have this picture up here. There's a lot to talk about this picture. One of the things I think that comes to heart, and it'll allow me to introduce our next sister who is going to share as well, is this idea of our planet and our life on this planet. One of the most, I think, important universal truths about our lives, about this planet, is that everything is constantly changing. Everything is constantly changing from the moment we're born to the moment we leave. And this planet's evolution from when it started to now, 4.5 billion years later, I mean, it's been constant change, constant change. When we can accept that, embrace that, life starts flowing in a whole other way. And our dear sister Flo, who is just so representative of this universal truth as well as just this planet Earth. She's part Burmese and part Iraqi, okay, representing the oneness of this planet so beautifully.
And she's going to share a beautiful song called A Gift. And when we think of gift, we think of so many things, but what she's sharing with us is so important. This gift is this wisdom. And I'll let her explain more, but I wanted to invite her dear sister, Flo. And we'll get the mic stand. Please give her a round of applause.
Hello. Hi. I'm Flo. Yeah, so I feel like I've been brought up in a culture which is that doesn't really talk about impermanence, and over the last few years, I've been understanding more about impermanence and understanding it deeply, not just intellectually but physically, like in my body and through my spiritual practice and meditation. And I find that the more I understand about impermanence, the more I see it as a gift. And I was recently in America, and it's like one of those stories where I totally fell in love with someone. And my visa expired and I had to leave. And before I left, he wrote me this letter, and in the letter he quoted this really amazing writer called Walt Whitman. And I'd like to read a quote, that quote which he wrote. I feel like it will resonate with not just like the loss of being apart from someone you love, but also when someone you love passes away, or even feeling nostalgic, everything's changing. As Walt Whitman said, there is no beginning and there is no end, and yet life ever propels itself toward the urge. And in the days ahead, I'll get to know once again the urge to touch a missing someone for whom I've come very quickly to deeply care. I'll get to touch in myself the grief that is a side of love we so often try to forget. There is a deep beauty resting there that I'll try to recall. In those moments of forgetfulness, when there seems nothing but hurt, it is the ecstatic joy of touching another's heart, the smile of your face, the radiance of your embrace, all and everything, free of words, that opens my being to the love that is always there, all of that which abides in the feeling of loss. When I can sit there watching the deep joy inside the pain, I'll know that there is no loss at all, that there is only the unspeakable beauty of witnessing with profound fullness the nature of a human heart. I say I'll be here when you stumble, even when you don't want me to see. And underneath that foggy mind is layers of beauty. Cause when I inhale, your feet, like they're running through a field of grain, love and insane. I looked up at the moon and watched the night turn to day. And oh, that was a gift from nature. That was a gift that nothing will stay. And oh, that was a gift from nature. That was a gift that nothing will stay. Bitter and sweet, what a colourful taste. You'll be amazed by the wonders you've missed when you slow down your pace. Heard a mother tell a child, there's no need to limit what you know. And whenever you see nothing, whenever you're sure, there's so much more. I looked out to the ocean and watched a boat sail away. And oh, that was a gift from nature. That was a gift that nothing will stay. I looked up at the moon and watched the night turn to day. And oh, that was a gift from nature. That was a gift. Oh, that was a gift from nature. That was a gift. Oh, that was a gift from nature. That was a gift. And nothing will stay. Nothing will stay.
If you've ever had a chance to think of the timeline of this planet Earth, but Flo's message is beautiful, this idea of impermanence, how everything's changing. If you ever think of the timeline, planet Earth has been around for 4.5 billion years. And some scientists, it wasn't hard, but they kind of took all the historical facts and plotted this timeline onto one calendar year. So 4.5 billion years onto one calendar year, just to help put perspective of all the change that has happened. So 4.5 billion years divided by 365, I think it comes out around 12 million years per day. So January 1st, midnight, is the beginning of planet Earth, and December 31st, 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds is us right here, present day. And the facts help give us perspective on who we are, where we stand in this whole chain. They say that in February of that year is when single-celled organisms came onto this planet. And they continue to share. They skipped 10 months. In November of that year, of this life of this planet, is when plants came about. Same November is when fish arrived onto this planet. December 20th is when dinosaurs arrived on the planet. We think dinosaurs were maybe that far long ago. They're so recent. And then December 26th, 60 million years later, dinosaurs departed, went extinct. They say humanoids ancestors of human beings, primate, arrived on December 31st at 11:45 p.m. And then they say human beings, in terms of recorded history, arrived at 11:59 p.m. on December 31st and 45 seconds. Which is quite amazing to try to understand. Wow, we've been here for 15 seconds. And look what we've done. Oh, we've done some great things. And some troubled things. But that's, just kind of taking this whole idea of the planet. That's one idea. And then this other idea comes to mind, why I wanted this planet Earth to be here. And more importantly is that we are all one. That's what this flag symbolizes. That's why there's this flag. One of our close friends, his name is Pancho. Pancho is from Mexico, and he moved to Berkeley, California to do his PhD in astrophysics. A brilliant soul. Soon enough, as he started his PhD, he realized that his research was being used for American nuclear warhead research. And he quit. He quit, so he lost his visa. But he remained in San Francisco, the Bay Area. He lives in Oakland now. Pancho his father was a deep Gandhian. In Mexico City. Read all about Gandhiji. Pancho is a soldier of nonviolence. True to its being. And the one thing he always talks about is how we are all brothers and sisters. So you ask Pancho, where are you from? What's his answer? Jonathan Gares, it's just planet Earth. Like, where are you from? Do you have a different address? What an interesting way to process who we are. Everybody to him is a hermano or hermana in Spanish, that means brother or sister. And as he lost his visa, he was thinking, what can I do? I can't get a job. But I want to serve this area. It's really troubled. East Oakland. He lives in a place called Fruitvale. They have a movie called Fruitvale Station, Hollywood movie, about this young man, Oscar, that got shot and killed in. It's a troubled area, so Pancho decides, I'm going to experiment. We're going to create a house of peace in the middle of 2 gang warfare districts in East Oakland. So he starts Casa de Paz, Home of Peace, an experiment there where the doors are never locked. You must take your shoes out before you enter. Every morning and evening there's meditation, 1 hour required, if you want to join to live at that house. Every Friday is a community gathering of meditation, sharing, and free offered food, prasad. There's a garden in their yard called the Canticle Garden, and they offer the fruits every Sunday as a gift to the community. Whenever there's violence in the neighborhood, Pancho, Adelasia, the family that lives there, they go there to try to embrace the gang members, the police, whoever it is, with love. And Pancho once he was in a subway, the BART system they call it in San Francisco, in a subway, and 2 young guys, came and jumped him, meaning they punched him. It was a gang initiation. You imagine this guy that has so much universal love. He responds by saying, my brother, you don't have to do this. I love you. That's his reaction. The guy is startled, the 2 kids are startled, and they let go, and they just pick up their stuff and they just start running. For some reason. Maybe it was Pancho's love, Pancho starts running back after them. He wants to invite them to Casa de Paz. He feels like that's what they need. That type of energy. How do we see the world in that way? Even just a little. We don't have to be like Pancho. So Pancho always gives these flags out to people to help them become more aware. When we did the Ekatva show, was anybody here during the Ekatva show 2 years ago when we brought these kids? I think there's a few of you. We brought 16 of our children from India. When we were in San Francisco, I asked Pancho, please meet with our kids. And he brings 25 of these flags for each one of them. And it's beautiful because now some of our kids in their homes, in their slum homes in India, you have these planet Earth flags, which is unheard of in anywhere, but even in the slum community, it's much more focused on certain gods. I don't know when you guys remember when Occupy was happening. Occupy was a big movement in America, fight for justice, and Pancho's response was, I'm going to go pray for everyone's peace. And he has his planet Earth flag in front of him. And Elijah, his brother, is next to him. The policemen are there in riot gear. Thousands of people in the middle of Oakland City, yelling, rioting, and these guys decide to pray. And what happens to Pancho? The next Monday morning, he gets arrested. Beautiful thing about Pancho is every Monday he takes a vow of silence because that's what Gandhiji used to do. Mahatma Gandhi took a Maun Vrat every Monday after a certain age. Pancho does the same. When he was arrested, it was Monday, so he writes a letter to the policeman. Sorry, I don't speak on Mondays. It's a vow that I've taken. Just wanted to let you know I love you, and that when I get out of jail, I would love to take you out for lunch. This is his response. This type of spirit. Just taking a seed from Pancho is a blessing. You know, and for me, being in the Gandhi ashram the last 5 years, Gandhiji used to always share about nonviolence. And we read so much on him about nonviolence. And I always wondered, why do we talk about nonviolence? Why don't we talk about love? I guess my own internal research has started to realize that it's not about love or nonviolence. For me, I was like, the beginning point for me is non-judgment. I feel like Pancho has that. Once you embrace all, you stop judging. And so, inspired by this idea of non-judgment, to me that's the foundation of not being violent in the mind, is can I first get to not judging anything and being okay and embracing everything. Everything is there, it's okay. Doesn't mean I have to take part or object, I just have to be accepting of it all. I wrote this song that I wanted to share with you. It's called Keep Loving. And for me it was inspired by this idea of non-judgment. Universal love. That we're all the same. And if we practice that enough, the lens in our eyes starts shining that. We start seeing everyone as Pancho sees them, as a brother and sister. The chorus of the song goes, keep loving, it'll change your heart, it'll change your mind, and then you'll start to change your eyes. Everything you touch, everyone you see, will soon become your family. So I just wanted to share Pancho's story. To me, he represents this type of image where one day we might all have that feeling of harmony amongst everything and everyone. And in the words of the song, the beginning parts of the words are about non-judgment. It says, whether you're different, same, ignorant, or intelligent, whether you tell the truth, lie, or embellish it, whether you live in gratitude or for the hell of it, it doesn't matter. We're all still one. We're all different, but we're all still one. Well, that's the idea behind this song, so I wanted to share it with you. It's called Keep Loving.
Whether you're different, ignorant, or intelligent, whether you tell the truth, lie, or embellish it, whether you live in gratitude or for the hell of it, it doesn't really matter, we still want to fellowship. Whether you're being lustful or living celibate, whether you're an optimist or only see the negative, whether you're dead broke or rich from inheritance, it doesn't really matter, we're made in the same skeletons. Whether you got a family, a single parenting, or you're Asian, African, European, or American, whether you're praying God or atheist is irrelevant, because what you got inside is the same as all the rest. It'll change your
So we have two more pieces that we wanted to share. And for this next piece, I wanted to welcome a dear sister, but wanted to share the theme, this idea of whether we call it success in our lives or this theme of how we want to live our life, how we want to make use of this life while we're here. It's constantly changing, as Flo was sharing. And I remember in high school, in my math class, in my calculus class, Miss Nolte's class, this was in Los Angeles, I had this poster in her class. It says, "Justification for a higher education." And it has a picture of a mansion and beautiful cars. And I was really inspired. It really gave me incentive to go to an Ivy League school and work in New York and make money. And I really felt like, yeah, I'm doing it, living the dream that I wanted to live. And that was beautiful. At that time, it was beautiful. I felt like I was walking towards that. And then whatever in my own life changed. And that's one form of success, right? We kind of all have different ways to arrive at success. I see this picture of Buddhaji sitting on a tree with nothing except maybe some loincloth in the middle of nature. And now this man is successful also. Wow. Full of compassion, full of love for others, full of peace. He had all that other stuff as well, as a prince prior. But that is his form of success. Success might be a weird word to use, but it's just your form of how you want to make use of this beautiful time while you're here. And when it keeps evolving for all of us, I think it's just good to step back and say, how do I feel about it? So I wanted to invite a dear sister to me who represents an amazing, amazing, very challenging, but she's accomplished it, balance of everything. From a high education to spirituality, to being a mother of two, to serving in the community. And when I see her, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That balance. How do you keep that balance? And I just wanted her to share whatever that means to you, this message of how do we live our lives, what's the meaning of success for you. It would be wonderful. So Krishna and her beloved daughter, Serena. Welcome. Serena's been wanting to come on stage for a long time.
Thanks, Nimo, for inviting me to share. He asked me to share just a little bit about my journey and how kind of this meaning of what we make of our life has evolved really as my journey has gone. So when I think back to kind of the early part of my education, I think for me one of the biggest gifts probably came at a time when I didn't really see it as a gift. I graduated from university in the middle of the dot-com boom in the Bay Area, all over the world really. Tech companies were making millions, and here I was coming out of school, and I landed my dream job. I was going to be a strategy consultant. It was the firm that I wanted to be at, and life was good. That's what I worked so hard for. And suddenly, a few months into my job, the company filed for bankruptcy. There went my dream job, and it was the perfect gift. It gave me a chance to reevaluate what I was doing with my time, with my life. I always wanted to go down the route of doing nonprofit work and service work, but thought I would start in this business world. And though I continued to do a little bit of business work before, I've kind of now been fully in the nonprofit space for a while. It was such a gift to just have that opportunity to just reevaluate. And I think a lot of times our gifts come in forms that we don't expect. So fast forward kind of 15 years, over the last 10, 15 years, my journey has been one of service and really incorporating all these values that we all hold really close to our hearts, into our lives. And until about 5 years ago, it was very much an individual journey for me. It was in my own heart. It was something I shared with noble friends and the community that I'm a part of. But it was something that was, I believed I needed to really cultivate in my own heart. And then a few years ago, my life changed. I was no longer living for myself and my own cultivation and kind of looking at, kind of embracing these values in my own life. Suddenly, this one came along about almost 4 years ago. And becoming a mother, as Nimo said, these journeys we're on, they evolve every day, every month, every year. And becoming a mother was a huge evolution. Until then, you have your husband and your family and your friends and everybody you care about, and of course you look after. But becoming a mom, you put all of that aside, and 150% of your energy and your love and everything goes into your kids. And for me, that was a real opportunity. Initially, it was a challenge because, again, you're trying to strike that balance of, really cultivating that love and compassion in your own heart, but at the same time, embracing this role that you have as a mom and sharing that with your family. And it's been such a beautiful opportunity. It's the last kind of few years, I now have 2 kids, 2 little ones, and I was sharing with Nimo that it's been such a beautiful opportunity to share what has been kind of my own journey, really, all this time, and kind of expanding it out to my family. We try and do things with our kids. My husband, he doesn't meditate. He really values all these things, but he works hard so that we all have the time and capacity to do what we do. And when we had her a couple of years ago, we started doing a minute of silence every evening before we said our prayers. And even when I'm not there, he does that minute of silence with Serena. And I was saying, wow, if I asked him to meditate with me, he probably said, that's your thing, that's fine, you do that. But now he meditates every day, all because of what, we want to share with our children. Another thing that came up recently, we had surprise visitors from India. Some of you know Jayesh and Arvind. And there's a prayer they do at Manasana called Om Tat Sat. And Serena had heard it in the car when we were driving around. And so one day she asked me, can we sing this at night when we go to sleep? So here we are, we sing this prayer every night. It wasn't a prayer my husband had ever heard. She asked him to put it on the iPod in his car. So now he's got it, on repeat in his car. And she's taught him this prayer. So now every night he sings it with her as well. And it's something that, these things wouldn't have happened if we don't kind of hold this intention of sharing what's in our heart kind of beyond. And I feel like it's a balancing act. A lot of times it's easy to just think of these things as things that we need to cultivate on our own, in our own lives, and leaving everyone around us to do what they need to do. But I feel like these values are too precious to just keep in our own hearts, and it's really about sharing them with other people and inviting them to embrace these things in their lives in very natural and kind of organic ways. So that's been my journey, and I'm really thankful to Nimo and to all of you for doing all those little things that you do in your lives to strike this balance and to embrace these values and really share them with everybody in your life. They're too precious to hold on for yourself, so don't be shy. Share, give others around you an opportunity to be part of that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Trishna. I wanted to share a song called Graduation. And I was trying to think, what would be a graduation song? You've heard a lot of graduation speeches, but I feel like all these lessons that these children that I've had a chance to work with and so many noble friends, I feel like they're teaching and have taught me so many lessons. So when I wrote this song, I was trying to say, what would be a song that would capture all of these lessons in one song? And that's what I wanted to share with you. For me, that question is, at the end of the time, when we are called up, at the end of the time, when this whole beautiful, beautiful drama is over for each of us, can we get to a space and live life in a way where when we look back, we say, that was a good one. You know? And it's not about getting to that point where we look back. It's about living life right now so that when we look back, we feel, yeah, that was good. I did it the way I wanted to. That was fun. A nice journey. So this song is called Graduation. Have your eye on the goal, but then let it all go. For everything changes as you will come to know. Every plan you make, every seed you sow is impermanent. Nothing is ever yours to own. Once you realize this, oh, you will see the truth that you never were the planter of your own fruits. But accept these gifts, even if you don't know from who, and kindly pay it forward to those behind you. Because ultimately what we take will always disappear, but what we give will live on for years. So keep giving of your stuff and yourself until your ego has completely melted. Be wary of the impact you want to make. Instead, make sure you are impacted each day. Have your eye on the sky, but still see the ants. For the small things are the foundation of all that will last. We move on as time passes by. Let's just hope we move from darkness to light. And we reach the top and we look back high. But we cry with the tears of joy. Satisfied. Be careful not to accumulate too many things because you might just end up with a pot full of greed, and doing likewise can also be deceiving. So I encourage you all to practice just being. Be still, be happy, be loving, be kind, be humble, be magical, be aware, but be blind. Don't judge, see the good in each and every soul. Use your mind when needed, but follow your heart even more also. Don't forget to thank God every time you fail, because your journey from failure will be your legacy and tale. Remember to feed birds, hug trees, and bow to the sun until you and Mother Nature are one. The last thing is to be grateful for all of your gifts. Gratitude and suffering cannot coexist. Once you reach this space, every moment will be bliss, and this graduating class will mark our success. We move on as time passes by. It's just hope we move from darkness to light. We reach the top and we look back high. We cry with the tears of joy. We move on as time passes by. Let's just hope we move from darkness to light. When we reach the top and we look back, I hope you cry, filled with tears of joy, satisfied. Thank you all. We have one last piece that we wanted to share with you for the end of the night. And it's a theme I think that we all could connect to, and I would love to see if anybody feels like sharing. Just let that go, I think. I'm going to open it up to anybody sharing on this theme, because I think we all have so many beautiful things that we are grateful for, that we could be grateful for. It says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It could turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. You know, it's just this idea of, can we find that space inside to say, wow, this is a blessing, this is a gift. So I just wanted to open it up. We can maybe turn the lights on as well, to see if anybody feels like sharing what they're grateful for. And I know we have so much, and I know even if you don't share that there's a lot of gratitude deep in all of our hearts. But I think the beauty of a collective here like this is that when we do share it, it helps kind of create a space in others to say, wow, yeah, let me think about that. Let me feel what I'm grateful for. So I just wanted to open it up. Just raise your hand, share your name, and what you're grateful for. Yes, dear.
I'm grateful for...
Can you say your name and share what you feel?
My name is Kia, and I'm grateful for my education and everybody in the happy world.
What's your name?
It's Ramesh. Actually, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come and listen, so appreciate your time. And it's been very emotional for us. Yeah.
Could be anything.
I'm grateful to be here and to be given the opportunity to listen to you.
I'm grateful that you're born a human being, able to
Limba was just saying how he's grateful to be born as a human being and just to be able to have a choice, to make decisions, to act upon. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand.
I'm Deborah, and I'm grateful for her. She's my daughter, and she reminds me to be grateful. And I'm really grateful for that.
Flo's mother, Deborah, said she's just grateful for her daughter, to remind her to be grateful of things. Flo's sitting here in the back. I know all of us are grateful for so many things, so it doesn't matter whether you share or not. But personally, living in the present moment, there's so much to be grateful for, but I'm truly grateful to everyone that allowed for this gathering to happen. You know, I have my sister Reva back there, Sister Milo, sisters Annie and Trishna who shared, and then many of my friends that just helped put this place together and care enough to bring spaces and communities together for no other agenda than, you know, we were just doing sound check earlier today, and I'm watching all of these souls. You know, a few of us were doing some technical stuff, and they're just getting petals from roses and putting this vase here and tree and flowers and the lights, and then finding a way to get this love all, serve all banner up and this planet Earth flag up and putting these hearts, hanging them around. There was no need to do all that. But something inside their hearts feels like those small things matter. And to have friends and family that think in that way, that small things actually matter, I am grateful for that. Because to me, that's the lesson to be learned for me, that I want to learn, and keep on realizing how important the small things are, not the big things. Big things are made up of a lot of small things, actually. So I thank you, my dear sisters and brothers. And obviously, I speak on behalf of all of us, every single one of us. We're all thankful to our mom and dad. For us to be here. So we wanted to share one last song with you, but as a group. So I wanted to just ask all our family and our volunteer family to just come on stage, everyone that just helped bring this evening together. if you guys can all join. Amal, if you want to grab the guitar, Kia and Ishan, we're going to sing together. You guys want to join on stage? It would be nice, I just want to sing this one last song. It's called Grateful, but we'd love for all of us to sing it together. And so here are the words. It's very simple. It goes, all that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. So those are the words. Hemant and Reba, Helena, please just join us humbly. We'll circle around the kids. We'll just surround the kids. Can you guys see the words there? Kind of? Okay, we'll try to make room. Okay. Susan? So this song is called Grateful. We're grateful for all of you to have come. We'll have some logistical sharings afterwards for the rest of the evening because there's some snacks, there's some gifts for all of you guys, and we'd like to end with a prayer after this song in remembrance of so many people. This song is called Grateful, and we got our 3 stars here. Big round of applause for Serena, Kia, and Ishan. We're going to sing this chorus with us. You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my yes, you're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love, you're my hands, you're a glove, you're my eyes, you're a hug, you're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun, you're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter, you're my friend to the end, you're my dreams, you're my father, you're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround, feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the cloud, you're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow, you're the strength when I follow, you're the path that I follow, you're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize all that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na.
Everything is a gift. So I was thinking we can do is maybe we can all just gather here at the front of the stage and do a little prayer together. As we know, today is a day of remembrance. I think they have almost over 800,000 tulips. How much? Poppies. Over 800,000 memorializing each person that passed away. And then in my heart, I was moved to check on the internet how many people on this planet have passed away due to violence. And there was no exact number since the beginning of human history, but the estimates range from 200 million to 1 billion people have passed away due to war and violence on this planet. Wow, so there's a lot to pray for, obviously, for us to purify our minds and hearts as humanity and hopefully come closer together. There's a lot to be grateful for. And we thought as a collective, we just do a quick prayer for a few minutes with our eyes closed. If you feel moved to close your eyes, share this silence together and share our love with the rest of the world, those that have passed, those that are here, those that will come soon enough. Thank you. Thank you all. Just want to thank everyone here on stage and other invisible hands for bringing us together today. It's a blessing to be here, and hope we all have some seeds that we planted, especially the ones that we wrote down for ourselves,
that we can take into our daily life and see how we can always continue to, offer more to the world around us. Anybody here feel like sharing anything? And then logistics afterwards also, there's something to share. Anyone? Annie usually never talks, she was saying, I want to share.